Couples who cook together don't always eat together.
And couples who build furniture together sometimes need separate rooms after.
Here's the thing. Therapy isn't just for when your relationship's in trouble. Regain Couples Therapy by BetterHelp helps you keep the little stuff, like burnt pasta or wobbly bookshelves, from becoming big stuff. Connect with a licensed therapist online, anytime, anywhere, together.
Visit regain.com. Better relationships start here.
Always follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. We are loaded to the gills today. Paul Stone, 90 minutes, best bets with analysis coming up on college football games this weekend. Derek Stevens, back end of the program. We'll talk contests with him at that point. He was also at the Raiders game last night. Yikes. And in 30 minutes, lifelong professional gambler, Frank Betty's going to be in studio, known as Frank B.
Top 5 guest. Love him.
No question. If you've never heard him on this show before, you must stay tuned for him coming up at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. He's going to be in studio for a full hour today. Can't wait. Okay, so our takeaways from last night on Monday Night Football. Chargers are good. Paulie, they had 15 passes deflected last night. How is that a thing? Right out of the gates, first pass, deflected, intercepted. Geno was getting the passes tipped the entire game. Is that game plan? Is that athleticism, talent? Overall, it was a beautiful defensive display last night by the Chargers overall.
Yes, and even losing guys and Mack and having injuries, they still dominated and were so good. And what Derwin James did, the game that he had, go back to Brazil when Mack destroyed that guy and Mahomes makes the incredible play to throw the touchdown on 4th down. They've been awesome in the 2 games. So it should have been a blowout. I don't get kicking the field goal. You're going to kick the field goal from the 2-yard line, but you're going to go for it 4th and 1 from midfield.
I don't get it.
I don't know what they were doing.
I don't get the field goal.
Yeah, they got to pick a street here, but
it was a 2-score game. They cut it down to another 2-score game.
But we love Herbert, and you see the weapons that he has, and when he's cooking, now can they get a running game going as well? But that was a great performance defensively and a nice win. And now you look at the schedule. That was after the game. I'm like, yeah, it's got a good team. They might be favored in their next 10 games.
JVT bet them plus 950, 1 seed AFC.
Oh, we got 950.
Yeah.
It's 550 at DK right now.
Yeah, what do you make of that angle?
Yes. Broncos, Giants, Commanders, Dolphins, Colts, Vikings, Titans, Steelers, Jags, Raiders. The Washington games at home, the Colts games at home, the Minnesota and Pittsburgh games are at home. I mean, this is not that they're going to win everyone, but certainly that's a good bet. And with the way their roster is constructed and how nasty the defense looks and the weapons, they get that running game going. Then it's a scary outfit.
I think they will, although, again, they lost their best linemen before the season started, so that could be a reason why it's not going to be as highly impactful as we thought entering the year anyway. But he does have weapons. I mean, I said it yesterday on the show. I never bet it. I should have. Johnson's prop was 41.5. Now, he didn't have a zillion targets, but they take bombs to that guy.
If he catches the ball, he's good.
Oh, I think I'm over that.
Okay.
I think he's over the drops.
Yeah.
I think that dude is really, really good. He was so good at TCU, had the drops, and now coming on, he was super solid to begin the year last year.
Getting Keenan Allen was enormous as well.
I would agree.
Nice security blanket.
And McConkey to go with that?
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yep.
And on the flip side, we're 2 games in. I don't want to overreact here, but did Genty go to the wrong spot in the draft?
Yeah, the offensive line's terrible.
It's awful. I have all the numbers to back it up here in a second.
Yep. Are you so concerned that you are dismissing him from Offensive Rookie of the Year?
He was never a consideration.
He was
at
too
his
low,
number.
right?
Yeah.
His number should be a lot higher than what it is.
Yeah, he's unbettable. And if he gets me, he gets me.
Right. I just have Warren and Mbuka are so high now.
Sure.
With what they've done, and it's not all his fault, but you got to open up holes for the guy, and they're just not there.
Sure. So when a team is drafting in the top 6, I know people have been anti-running back, in the first round or that high for a long, long time. I get it. Also, Genti was the best college running back we've seen in years. And by the way, save me the nonsense with your tweets about, oh, this is what it looks like when he plays good defenses. Right, because,
Oh, God.
because you're right. 0 like group of 5 or lower level college players have ever been good in the NFL. Just if you do that, you're wasting your time and you look like a fool hitting submit or hitting send. Don't be that dumb. Has nothing to do with it. And if he went to the right spot, the guy would, I think, completely shine. However, this is a team that drafting 6 overall, that means that they're going to have a lot of needs, obviously. And they said, no, we're going to punt on him because he's such a good college back, we can make it work. Well, without offensive line, again, here you go. Their pass blocking is the 12th highest graded unit at PFF. Not bad. The run blocking, however, which is going to matter the most here with Genti, 18th. And when you dig a little bit deeper, when you look at adjusted line yards, right? They are dead last in the entire NFL through 2 games. Running back rushing yards as a result, second worst. Power success rate, bottom third of the league. Stuffed rate. Their backs, meaning a lot of Genti so far, have been stuffed at a rate of 37% of the runs so far on the year. Of course, that's dead last in the league. Second level yards, 5th worst. That's because they're getting stuffed immediately and he has no room to run. Mm-hmm. And also in the open field, 27th overall. So he's not making an impact.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, would Derrick Henry make an impact behind this offensive line at this point?
No. And Geno was horrendous. Geno was begging for a pick 6, too. Or a 6 interception game. It was that bad.
I agree.
So they got to bounce back. They had the good win week 1. And Bowers is certainly compromised. That showed last night.
Yeah.
But now on a short week, they got to go to Washington. See if they get a backup quarterback there if Daniels is out. But that was a bad performance by the Raiders. And the Chargers let them hang around and make it interesting when it should have been over.
Can Geno Smith lead a team, again, with that offensive line, a compromised Brock Bowers now on big-time short rest? Warren Sharp, great perspective on this yesterday on the program. So that game got over with around 1 a.m. Eastern time last night.
Yeah.
The Commanders have been home since early Friday morning, haven't played since Thursday. Think about rest advantage there for Washington. And now the Raiders have to fly across the country and play a 1 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock Pacific time, body clock game on Sunday right away. And I mean, if it's like, do you bet the Commanders right now at this number? And then knowing that if Daniels actually is a go on Sunday, it balloons back up to like 6.5 probably. And then even if he doesn't go, you know what? I'll take my chances with Marcus Mariota.
Yep. That's fine with me, too. I think he'll be fine with Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What'd you make of the other game? Mayfield visibly hurt, wobbled after the game. As people were suggesting, it was not easy for him to get out of bed today.
I know. That was a great call, though, by Pete. And that's a prop you have to look at every game, which has now cashed 10 road games in a row, but the longest rush over 9.5. They have the game won. It's 4th and long.
Right.
And then no containment. He just takes off, and they give him the first down. But like Ryan said after the game, they had several chances to put it away and win it, and they couldn't capitalize. I was listening to Sirius NFL radio coming in. Guy was making the case. Collins ran a bad route on that first down when they couldn't score, and they couldn't punch it in down there. You couldn't get the 2. You got the gift where McLaughlin misses the field goal. But 4th and 10 at home, game you have to win. And they're up against it now.
Sure
now
they
they're
are.
2 back, and they have to go to Jacksonville, and they're underdogs. This season could be slipping away in a hurry for them.
Well, if they lose that game coming up in week 3 on the road against the Jags.
And the Colts win?
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable
Yeah.
in saying their season is pretty close to being done.
Yes.
To recover from that, again, historically, it's a 17-game season, but during the 16-game seasons that we had forever, if you even started 0-2, like that's almost curtains. It's not 100%, but it was very difficult to recover from that. Now 0-3, if they lose that game, and that would be another divisional loss for them, by the way, and that offensive line, oh boy, I think it's actually, we'll put it this way, it's as bad as we thought it was going into the season.
Yep.
He's running for his life.
Chubb, nothing. The one run, fluke, okay,
Total
touchdown,
fluke.
but you can't run on Tampa.
Yep.
And that's why it's a horrible matchup for the Jets Sunday. The Buccaneers are the 3rd team in history to win each of their first 2 games of the season, both on the road by 3 points or fewer, joining the 79 Browns and the 88 49ers. Find a way to win. Bull's doing a great job.
I know. Mayfield's an absolute warrior.
He
and
is.
oh, by the way, they're now they have a serious injury.
I love the tweets. I don't want to hear about the redemption story or being saved. He just left Cleveland. That's what happened. to
That's
him.
all it had to happen.
Right. He was
Yeah.
stuck in Cleveland, but he was available for the whole league. He had the cup of coffee in Carolina, but they got him at a great discount and a bargain basement price, and the guy's an MVP candidate. Takes him
Rightfully
to the-
so.
Yeah.
So again, they lost one of their better defenders last night. Evidently, he's going to be out for the year.
Yes.
But Dr. David Chow was tweeting earlier. I got to get. I'm blanking on the name.
Cansey.
Yeah, there you go, Cansey. Thank you very much. Dr. David Chow said there's a chance, based on history here, that he might actually be able to come back at the end of the year. But they're also like the guys that they're going to be getting back on offense here.
Sure.
Will be super helpful.
Yes.
It won't be helpful for my Egbuka Rookie of the Year ticket,
Yeah.
although he's the short shot now at some books. He's down to 4-1, but like he's going to be impacted when McMillan and certainly Godwin come back.
Yeah.
But they're a fun team. I don't know. I actually
minus 225 to win the division now.
Yeah, you know what? I know they have the win over Atlanta already. Atlanta's going to linger this year.
I think you're right. And the Chargers $1.10 to win the division at some spots.
Well, big one coming up for them this week.
Yep. That is a monster if they beat the Broncos. But the other story, I think, is the kicking props.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on. You can't get away from this. This is unbelievable.
It's
no problem.
Prediction.
Yeah.
The prices on some of these kickers will turn into the NHL first period numbers.
There you go.
Yep.
Say the same thing.
It's going to happen.
Right. I don't want to hear about the juice either. You made a good point yesterday. Like a guy, $1.50. That's a baseball game. You're laying that with the Dodgers like on the road in Miami most
Yankees
nights.
every day.
That's right.
$1.65.
So that's what it's going to be. And now you just see Aubrey and Dicker and Boswell and how reliable these guys are.
Well, Fairbairn is incredible.
Yeah. That's a 13-2 run over. He is incredible. It's another guy. It's awesome. And in the primetime games, it's 7-1. Both teams to make a 33-yard field goal. The loser was because McLaughlin misses the chippy.
Very good. Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Paulie's going to recap a lot of the big bets that cashed last night in Win Some, Lose Some. Coming up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome in. We are live in Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino, spending the next 45 minutes with professional gambler, lifelong bettor, Frank B. Frank Betty, you're also in the Friday Night Football Invitational here, along with Anthony Curtis. Off to a nice start with that. And also you're working on a book with AC as well that's coming out, relatively soon, next couple of weeks, you think, or so?
Yeah, it should be definitely out by October. It's a book being written by Blair Rodman. He's a World Series of Poker winner. And Anthony and I are contributing sections of it because they're going to have a contest section, and then they're going to have like a, basic strategy sports betting section. But it's an introductory book. It's for entry-level sports bettors. And it's going to cover the whole gamut of sports betting with a heavy concentration on Las Vegas. And we're just finishing it up now. We're going through the final edit. And once that's done, it's going to get printed pretty quick. It definitely should be out in October.
Okay, and what's the name of the book going to be?
All about sports betting. I believe that's what they settled on.
Okay, that's official, you think? So they have settled on the name?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll probably have AC on then in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, he'll bring you a couple of books in.
Very cool.
10% discount for you.
So you've won a house gambling before. How long ago was it? Where was it at? Was it here?
It was, sure. It was at the Stations Casinos when they used to, do they do that anymore? Or they just have only last man?
It was a couple of years ago, a while back.
They got rid of it, though, right?
There was something
where you pick every game every week?
No, I believe they did, yeah.
Okay.
But you win a car or a house.
They start the pay scale. The top of the pay scale is a house, and then a car, then money, and then all the way down. And then the same thing in the opposite direction was from the bottom up. House for the bottom. So that was the angle because it's no point spread. Just figure out what you like and fill the card out backwards. And back then, not a lot of people thought to do it.
And that's what you were doing?
Sure, that's
awesome.
how I won. But it was you were going for about 40% of the pay scale was distributed at the bottom, but maybe 10% of the people, if you're lucky, were doing that. So it was a huge overlay doing it that way.
Okay.
So that was easy, and that was my first big score in Vegas. I was playing blackjack. That's my origin, blackjack player, and you're always trying to, manage your bankroll and keep things. So you got a little influx in there of, a nice 6-figure boost, and then things changed. Now you can do different things. Now you have some flexibility.
Okay. So you also helped a friend win a house that's gambling related.
Yeah, he's my partner from way back. We've known each other 40-some years. But that's the thing. After a while, when I would come on with you guys or others, they would go, "Oh, he won 2 houses." I go, "Wait a minute. How did it just double to 2 houses? I didn't win 2 houses." So that's why I mentioned it to you guys. We should probably straighten this out. So after that first one, your friends, they come out every year and they want to, I would like to do that. It would be, can you put the picks in for me? And I said, yeah, sure. Just come out in August. We'll sign up. Give me your card, and I'll take care of it. Tell me who you want every week. And what happened was, we didn't have the foresight to get a second card. So you have a card, and back then you had to swipe on kiosks. You swipe on the kiosk, you put your picks in, you're done. So after 10 weeks, my friend, he's in first place and decent, he's got a couple game lead. I go, looking good, man. Go to put in the picks on Saturday night. Swipe, nothing. Doesn't register. Card's not working. They have a few kiosks. Do that. Basically, I tried every kiosk at all 4 stations, and I couldn't get it to work. And now we're at Saturday night, and the picks are due Sunday, 9 a.m. I had to call him. I said, "Dude, I don't know what to tell you, but your card's not working, and we weren't smart enough to leave a second card here. What what should we do?" So I go, "FedEx, not going to make it. Can you fly here? Can you get here in time?" It's, "Nope, can't get here in time." So because of my my involvement heavily in the blackjack world, which is kind of an underground kind of thing, blackjack's one of those endeavors in the casino that they frown on more than anything, more than they should, but they react strongly. So you end up, all good blackjack players end up getting backed off everywhere. You can't play. You can't play under your name. Mm-hmm. So what's the answer to that? Do you quit? Well, no, you figure out a way to play, So you have to change your identity. So how do you do that? Well, you got to have fake IDs. And so we had, a guy that would, by the way, the statute of limitations is all expired on this stuff. So this is not good. So we had a guy, and we didn't cut any costs. We made sure he had a DMV quality printer, just like they used to make them. And he had all the accoutrements. So nowadays, or if they do it anymore, you look up in the upper right-hand corner of an ID and you see micro print. They'll look at it like that. Well, back then they had this dust that they would sprinkle on it, and then before they laminated it, and so it's just like a fiber in a dollar bill. When you look at it, you can tell this is the genuine deal. He had all that. So anyway, I said to my friend, I go, "Send me a picture of your ID, front and back, and I'm gonna go get an ID with my face on it and your details, just like it's in the system." Because back then, at the slot club, they didn't scan your card, so they didn't have a picture. They just had the text information.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So he does that, and now I got to call the guy. It's 10 o'clock at night, and I say, "Hey man, I need some plastic." He's like, "All right, come over in the morning." I go, "No. Well, you understand? I need it right now." He goes, "I'm going to bed." I go, "Dude, I do favors. I got to have this right now." So he goes, "Okay, come over." And this process takes an hour and a half, 2 hours. But I go over. By midnight, he's got it done. Then I got to show up first thing in the morning at a station, get an ID, go to the booth, give him the ID, get a replacement card. Oh, by the way, give me a second card. Sure. I do the same thing again. Get over to the kiosk, and I get the picks in. And I give my friend credit, because if he had wasted all that we had done, but he brought it in. He took it the rest of the way, the distance, and he won the house. But just think, unless you have some, if you don't have a goofball friend that's involved in this kind of stuff and could go get an ID on an hour's notice, it ain't happening. So
incredible,
that's unbelievable.
Oh my God, you got the guy. It's like Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise opens up the drawer.
We had on call for blackjack. We had not only we had a lie detector guy, a polygraph guy too.
What do you mean?
Well, because if you were playing with a lot of organized groups, teams, if they suspected a player was maybe not reporting their
right,
wins
yes.
fully, or
You
over,
did?
Oh yeah, you would call it. Hey,
Take the Paulie?
yeah, you bring them over here. And they bring them over and they give them a lie detector. Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah,
Who
yeah.
else you got? Who else was on the payroll?
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, well,
It's like a panel of experts here.
Yeah.
no, well, no, I'm just saying we had these things available to us. You know.
Wow. Oh, this is great. Phenomenal.
But anyway, that's
Walk me through the process. Is it like, because Randy McKay's won like 9 cars. You just go in, okay, I don't want it, I'll take the cash, whatever.
Right.
Maybe I'll drive one of them. Do you turn around and sell the house? What's that process like? Do
No,
you live in it?
Some people, I bet, a lot of people took the cash alternative, which was a pretty discounted rate.
Yeah.
But I took the house. You know, I had them built a house out by Sunset Station.
Okay.
And then I eventually did sell it. I mean, you know, because at that time I didn't really have all that big a bankroll, but I had a house. And now I got all these bills. And I told the wife, I said, listen, I know I said I'd give you this, but, you know, I need a bankroll. If you want to make this thing happen. So we lived in it a while, we sold it, and then I said, I promise you I'll buy you a different house. And that's the way it ended up. But most people take the cash alternative for cars, you know, they make a deal with the dealership. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Oh, did your buddy keep the house too?
No, the project that he got involved with is, it ended up not being completed. So then they said, you got to take the cash.
You have to take the cash option. Was that it?
Because that was maybe during when the housing thing was kind of going on, you know, and then projects were going up, and then all of a sudden it wasn't a good idea anymore.
Okay.
So
What did you throw the ID guy? Or you said that you've done so many favors for him. Was it just
it's just one of those things.
you owe me, man? So
well,
you're getting out of bed at 10:30.
He's in that circle of people that, you know, everybody helps each other out. Information is the most important thing. So if you're good for good information, people will do stuff for you. And that's pretty much what it was.
That guy had the sand that goes
Yeah, little
on.
sprinkles, like glitter that the chicks put on their face when they go to clubs. It looked kind of like that.
How nervous were you when you went to stations the next day?
And I wasn't nervous because I've done it too many times. I mean, there's a whole process for doing something like that. Is you go up there and you overwhelm them with credibility, which means you go up there with a stack of chips and this and your thing, and you talk to them, and they're going, why would this guy? Yeah, okay, sure, here's your card.
That is a great line.
I mean, just the experience there, right?
You overwhelm them with credibility.
Yeah, love that.
That is well said.
Yeah, so good. Ice water in your veins from all the experience.
Well, just doing it a few times.
Sure, right.
That's awesome.
Nothing can shake you.
Oh, man. We're rolling NFL season. VSiN Pro. Get the real-time DK and Circa betting splits. Know where the public and sharps are putting their money. Pair that with the morning email from Bill 80. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The nonstop live video on the Watch app. The proven betting systems at VSiN.com. You'll have the tools to stay ahead every week. Start betting smarter today. $9.99 or save 50% with an annual plan. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Professional bettor Frank B is going to hang out for another 30 minutes. Strong opinions on the current status of Las Vegas, how it's changed over the years, how much more difficult it is now for an advantage player to win today compared to years ago. That's coming up next.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. Awesome hour ahead. Paul Stone, professional sports bettor. Some of his best bets with analysis in college football coming up at the bottom of the hour. We continue now with another pro, Frank B, Frank Betty. He's also in the Friday Football Invitational here at Circa. The contest that Matt Humans runs. He's won about 5 football contests in the past. If you are just tuning in right now, he told the story in the previous segment that I implore you to go back and listen to, and you can find the Follow the Money podcast wherever you get your podcast. He explained how he helped a friend who did not live here win a house several years ago. Has to do with making a different ID. It was great. So you lived here for, again, how long doing this professionally?
It was a little more than 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Current state of Las Vegas compared to what it was like when you were still doing this professionally here during that time frame, and then what it's been like since COVID.
Well, yeah. Listen, as you develop as an AP, you kind of have a mindset where you want to win at everything. So it didn't matter what it was, whether it was versus the slot club versus the right, everything. Once you had everything done, you had the town wired. Everything, free gas, all kinds of stuff. But also everything was affordable, you know, because there was so much competition among not only resort properties, non-resort properties, that it was just like you wake up in the morning, it's like there's 100 things to do. I get to do like a half a dozen of them today, but all of them are good. All of them, you know, I have no problem with. Now, after being away for a few years, and you start to come back and you notice the changes, you go, wow, can't do that anymore. Wow, look how much this is. You start to look at it and you go, I don't know if I would want to live here anyway, if I could, if I want, you know. So much has changed. I mean, I went to dinner the other night at a place that there was nothing on it didn't seem like there was anything on the menu under $100. You know, and that didn't, and they also called themselves a steakhouse, but it was at a nightclub. The music was booming, and vibrating, and pounding, and the place was packed. Apparently nobody bothered them, the prices on the menu and everything. And I go, this is not what it used to be. This is not a steak. Andiamo is a steakhouse. Michael's is a steakhouse, you know. And these, just a lot of the old Vegas stuff is going by the wayside, and it's now this new trendier stuff, and everybody's $25 drinks, and I don't know. It's just not what it used to be.
They're shaking you down at every stop.
Right.
Between what's on the menu and then the drinks. And then how about I go, you go to the bathroom and there's the guy who's handing you the towel and he wants
in this place, yeah, they're treated like a strip club.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that place right there, that's not my cup of tea. Some people like it.
Okay.
But I'm talking about, you know, you start to notice every step of the way they're nickel and diming you, you know, and the worst offender is MGM properties. They have a fee for everything. Everything from check in early, check in late. Do you want, when you order room service, do you want metal cutlery? That's an extra $25. Otherwise, we're going to give you plastic. Do you want to make a reservation over the phone? That's $25 if you want to talk to somebody live. You know, they even have you over at MGM. I believe it's at every one of them. They have one of these rooms are called like Breathe Well or Stay Wells. And if you want to stay there, that's about an extra $30 versus the same room. And all they're doing is pumping in menthol air. They got you paying for air now. You're paying. So it's like parking, resort fees. I mean, it's just, it never ends. And I think it's going to continue to be that way. A reservation at Giada. I was here like early August.
Yeah.
I go to make the reservation, and you got these choices. Do you want to sit on the window? Sure. Okay, that's $125 per person per seat. So if you got a table of 4, that's an extra $500. You want to sit on the window?
You're kidding.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so when you start to notice these things, you start to compare them the way things were in the past, and there just is no comparison.
When did it happen? When did it start?
Well, yeah, I think COVID was the turning point where they came back. They decided they needed to make some money back, and so we're not going to be giving away quite as much as we did before, and nobody objected. Everybody was just so happy to be out of the house and get back into the casino, and they came back and they said, okay, well, why should we go back to the way it was? Let's just keep doing it. And they did just progressively keep pushing more. I don't know what's coming next, but it's tough, you know. You got to sit and pay. When have you ever had to pay to sit in a sports book? Now it's everywhere.
I'll tell you, I mean, when I got here originally, you could not only go and get like prime seats at a sports book, even if you were sitting there without any bets, you could drink all night for free. They won't even ask you. You're sitting in a sports book watching
just
games.
Take care of the girl.
What do you want to drink? Sure. Yep.
I mean, it's a totally different experience. But if the younger generation is willing to pay for that, you really can't fault the casinos for doing it. They're saying, well, no, we don't need to do that anymore. People are willing to pay for it.
Well, during this past summer, we would see reports like every single month, tourism down 10, 11, 12% in that neighborhood. Here at Circa, like, they're smart. They were popping the entire year because they did the summer special. They had like the Slottapalooza. Right? They're always thinking. Wheels are always turning here to have people in the seats. Stuff going on at Stadium Swim. But on the Strip, you hear 11, 12% down overall. And then you see prices like you're talking about. I mean, a beer, can you find a beer for below $15? I can't believe those words are even coming out of my mouth.
And the day I pay $14 for a Corona is the day I buy a timeshare from Vegas Dave. It ain't happening. It's too embedded in my DNA. Not that I don't want to pay for a drink at all. I don't know what that sounds like to people nowadays, but that's the way it was. I mean, you learn how to do a few things, you know, to give a little action, and you don't have to pay to drink if you know. And a lot of things, how to get a room, how to give a guy a meal because he looks like he's worth it and he looks like he will be worth it down the road. Not so much of that going on anymore. You got to prove it first, earn it first, then you can redeem it. We're not giving you anything on the come. I mean, but that's the attitude these days, and not encouraging.
I have it right here in your notes. A stay well room at MGM costs 30% more, and all you get additionally is supposedly better air, infused via vent with menthol.
Right. Yeah. They have you paying for air now.
Paying for air.
Right.
Think about that.
Have you seen the minibar prices too? Like it's like
yeah,
it's
well,
like
I don't
it's like
mess with the
$9. I know, but it's like $9.
I got a terrible
for
story
Snicker.
about mini. Back in the day when I could get a room for myself and everybody else, I had my aunt come to town.
Yeah.
And I go, hey, yeah, don't worry, just go in there, and if you go to the restaurant, whatever, I'll take care of it on the back end. And so she took this to mean that everything was free. So I got the bill. I went to check them out after 5 days, and the lady goes, well, you got an $800 minibar bill. I go, how'd that happen? I go, that's got to be a mistake. So I talked to her. I go, Auntie, what's up with that? They go, oh, you said everything was free, so we took everything out of it every day. So they were empty, and they don't come to Vegas often. They don't know any difference. And so I guess you got to be a little more specific. Yeah, but she was just emptying it every day. But they liked me enough back then. They said, okay, we understand. They forgave. You know, they make me pay for that. But that's, you know, I can imagine doing that today. I don't think it's going to go your way.
Well, you're going to find, I mean, on the Strip again, you're going to find bottles of water for 23, 24, 25 bucks in the minibar.
Right.
So back then, by the way, because I talked to you about this over lunch at the Fountain Blue last month, and you gave me great perspective of what this is before, way before, obviously, any other sports had legalized sports betting. Nevada was it. At its absolute peak, how many books were in Las Vegas?
Oh, there's a bunch.
And they came up with their own lines, right? They had their own people running stuff, and they would take bets.
Just right dead center strip, I guess, you know, you had right in a row, Frontier, Riviera, Stardust, Circus Circus. Those are all independent books. Desert Inn. Oh. You know, it was bang right down the line, all the way down to the little ones. You know, little places, Maxim, all these. We must have had 40 plus in the state.
Like a spot.
Easy.
And they all came up. They all had their own stuff.
But they didn't have Don Best back then or any of these wine services. So what you had is you had close to 50 different sets of lines. Just imagine if people were like as educated as they are now with the whole top-down method and all that. And just imagine what it was, you know, you had guys running around up and down the strip doing something similar to that, but it was just a matter of logistics and how much can you get, how far could you walk in a day, you know? You had to have good shoes. You used up a lot of your shoe leather, and then you see the same guys here and there, oh, he got that, you know, but there was no source that you could go to look and see what every line was. You had to go and find it on your own.
Not only that, but you've said this before, right? Like you've worked in teams for a long, long time. Okay, so even back then, no cell phones.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean, was it like
beepers, man.
Beepers and be at this payphone at 3:30. I'll call you then.
Yeah. Oh, the hottest spot in town, sports betting wise, was the payphone bank outside the Stardust.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You see all the guys out there. You want to find a runner, just go there. You'd eventually end up there. Yeah, like times change, you know, you got to change with them.
Yeah,
I remember the first time when Don Best became even possible to make it portable. And I had a thing installed in my car where it wasn't a laptop, it was something similar, but I had a little device that could connect to the internet, and so I could get the lines, and I'd sit outside Westgate, and, you know, and think, oh, wow, now I'm a step ahead of these other guys. I got the line service, and I'm able to travel with it, you know, it made a big difference. But everybody catches up, you know, as soon as they see it. It's just like an NFL team. Somebody's doing something successful, everybody copies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah.
Yep. Our betting splits cut through the noise, pulling real-time data straight from Circa and DraftKings. Track the percentage of bets and handle on every game across every major sport so you can make sharper, more informed bets. Start your edge today, $9.99vsin.com/subscribe.
If you were 23 years old right now, could you make it happen in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, you could. It's a whole different set of, maybe not skills, but things that you'd have to go after, you know? Like, everybody knows, like, the machine thing's a big thing now. And it's probably hitting a point of critical mass. It's, you know, there's just so many guys that do it.
Sure.
You know, when I travel around, I go, like, even all the poker guys, when they're on break, they're doing it. You know, you got grandmas doing it. No,
Looking for multipliers and stuff?
Oh, yeah, well, better than that. I mean, you know, the more you learn, the more you realize, like, if you're willing to be in the casino for that length of time, like 10 hours a day, 8 hours, 10 hours a day, yes, you can make a living doing it. There's a lot of competition, though.
My guess is you'd be a big fan of the quadruple zero roulette, which we're now seeing. Okay. Yeah. We started Survivor. We'll circle back and leave on a high note and get more thoughts on Survivor Contest with Frank B coming up next year on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Talk some college football here. Get some best bets with analysis from pro bettor Paul Stone as we head out now to the Progressive guest line. Paul, thanks for the time today. We appreciate it. You can follow him on X at Paul Stone Sports. Before we get into your bets today, you had such a great breakdown last week of why you like Georgia and Tennessee. Ultimately, it did not get there because at the time they were 3.5. They won by 3 in overtime. My question to you is, Tennessee blew the game. How much did you raise Tennessee's power rating after that contest?
I tell you, Mitch, I raised Tennessee by 1 point and Georgia I lowered by 1 point. And I don't always do congruent changes on teams after a common game. But I'll tell you what this game meant to me, and not to take anything away from Tennessee, but Georgia's defense is not nearly what it's been under Kirby Smart in some of these recent seasons. And I'll be quick here because I know we've got a lot to get to. But against Tennessee, Tennessee snapped the ball 70 times. They scored 38 points in regulation, 70 snaps. Georgia only had 1 sack and 2 tackles for loss. I know it was 2 games last year against Texas, but against Texas last year in 2 games, they had 13 sacks and 25 tackles for loss. They only had 1 sack and 2 tackles for loss against Tennessee. That's not Georgia defense. I think the Dogs are, you can't win and contend for national championships every season. You got to have a hiccup every once in a while, and I think Georgia's having theirs as we speak.
Very good. Big clash in the SEC again this weekend. Oklahoma, about 6.5-point favorites against Auburn here. Oklahoma's looked great so far. Do you like them in this game?
I tell you, both these teams have really looked good. I mean, you look at Auburn, they went to Baylor on that Friday night, week 1, beat the Bears 38-24, ran for over 300 yards. And then Oklahoma, week 2, they take on a blue blood Michigan 24-13. And Oklahoma, in my opinion, they were in control the whole time, looked like the superior team. You look at Oklahoma, though, man, and it's all about John Mateer. You've got to start with the Washington State transfer quarterback who followed ultimately his 29-year-old offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, who left for Washington State to Oklahoma in December to take the offensive coordinator's job this past December. Mateer ultimately follows him, and it's been a windfall for Oklahoma to be sure. A whole lot to like about both these teams. I just like Oklahoma's roster just a little bit more. Certainly they're at home. The wild card, again, it just comes back to John Mateer. This is a guy that seems to be a man on a mission. He plays with moxie. He plays with a little attitude. Maybe not as much attitude as Diego Pavia, but nobody plays with that much attitude. But he's got, he just seems to have that it factor. He's a dual threat guy. Last year at Washington State, almost 4,000 total yards, almost passed for over 3,100 yards, ran for another 800 plus. So this guy's a dual threat guy. He's got some receivers. Last year, Oklahoma ranked near the bottom in virtually every passing statistical category with Jackson Arnold, now the Auburn quarterback, and Michael Hawkins Jr. splitting time. This year, however, they're near the top in virtually every passing category. Deion Burks, 17 catches for 225 yards, a couple of touchdowns. I think Oklahoma is going to throw the ball on Auburn. Auburn gave up over 400 passing yards in that victory over Baylor. The Sooners by 7 or more over Auburn.
All right, sounds good. I have a similar opinion on this game. You have a side and a total. Baylor at home against Arizona State. The Bears 2.5. Something not right with the Sun Devils. That slow start week 1, and then the slow start in the first half of week 2. Couldn't punch it in from the 1-yard line several times, and then the kid hits them deep for the game-winning touchdown, and it's bedlam. What do you think of Baylor and Arizona State?
Yeah, Arizona State, just like you said, Paulie, they just don't seem to be on the the right page so far this season. Obviously, they lost Cam Skattebo. That's a huge amount of production. But in that loss to Mississippi State in Starkville in week 2, Blake Shapen, Mississippi State's quarterback, threw for 279 yards, averaged 8.5 yards per attempt. And while Mississippi's passing attack is good, it's not anywhere in the same league as Baylor's, in my opinion. You've got Sawyer Robertson, a guy in his first 2 games this year against 2 quality opponents, Auburn and SMU. He passed for over 400 yards against both those teams, threw for 419 again in the loss to Auburn, threw for 440 yards in that overtime victory at SMU. And in those first 2 games that I spoke of, Baylor averaged a robust 8.8 yards per attempt. They've got a lot of receivers to cover, makes it very difficult. They've had 3 guys already have 100-yard receiving games. Josh Cameron, Ashton Hawkins, and Cole Wilson. Got a tight end, Michael Trigg, who's also a threat. He was second team All Big 12 last year. He's got 13 catches, for 152 yards. And I didn't mention another guy, and that's Kobe Prentice, the transfer from Alabama. He only has 10 catches on the year, but 4 of those have gone for touchdowns. So you kind of got to pick your poison with this Baylor offense. I think they're going to score a lot of points. I think they're going to beat Arizona State by 3 or more points. But I think Arizona State's going to score as well. I mean, this Baylor defense, we saw them get gashed on the ground against Auburn in that opener. The Tigers rushed for 307 yards. Averaged almost 6 yards a carry. And Arizona State, they've played, other than the game at Mississippi State, it's been a pretty easy schedule. But the Sun Devils have rushed for over 200 yards in each of their first 3 games, averaging 6.1 yards per carry. Rayleigh Brown's been their top guy on the ground, 292 yards, over 8 yards a carry. I think they're going to run the ball on the Baylor Bears. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Baylor minus 2.5. And Arizona State Baylor over 59.5.
Very good. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, professional sports bettor Paul Stone. He is on the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on X at Paul Stone Sports. High total here between TCU and SMU. 64.5, I think, is the most common number available as we speak. You mentioned that Baylor SMU game. That was nonstop offense the entire time. The game was played in the 40s. Also, TCU, they're 2-0. They've scored in the 40s both times. In both those games, are you expecting fireworks here?
I tell you, these are 2 really good offenses. And when these Interstate 30 rivals who are separated by about 35 miles, when they've gotten together in recent years, it's meant a lot of offense, a lot of fireworks, starting back in 2019. And they didn't play in 2020 due to the pandemic. But starting in 2019, their last 5 meetings, on 4 of those occasions, they've combined to score 76 or more points. So these teams have been, high scoring when they meet. In the last 4 meetings, the total has closed at 63.5 or thereabouts in 3 of those meetings. So this total of 64.5 is right in the neighborhood that it's been in these recent meetings. Again, this year, each season certainly is unique. You start over, but these rivals, again, in my mind, as I look at their rosters, they appear to be more offensive than defensive minded once again. Both of them have experienced quarterbacks, guys starting for their second season. You have SMU, Kevin Jennings. He's done an excellent job, led them to the playoff last year. And then at TCU, you have an underrated guy, a guy that the NFL scouts actually love, Josh Hoover. So you got 2 really good quarterbacks. TCU passes the ball a high percentage of plays. Last year, they passed the ball about 57% of their offensive plays. In their opener against North Carolina, it was lopsided, 48-14, obviously coasted in the fourth quarter, but they still passed the ball on more than 50% of their plays, 37 of those 72 offensive plays against the Tar Heels. Another nugget, I think, of good news for those seeking points on Saturday in Fort Worth, SMU tight end R.J. Maryland. He's the son of former NFL standout Russell Maryland. He missed much of last year due to an injury. He's played in SMU's first 3 games, coming into form. He's a big-time weapon for Kevin Jennings. I just think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I use a formula to project offensive plays, the number of offensive plays. It projects 148 plays, which is quite a few. I like this game to once again be high-scoring, SMU and TCU over 64.5.
Very good. Love the homework. Love the analysis, Paul. Thanks so much for popping on the show, as you do every single Tuesday. Best of luck this week with the bets. Thank you.
Absolutely. You guys have a great weekend. Good luck to you guys as well.
Back at you. He's on X at Paul Stone Sports, and he joined us here via the Progressive guest line.
I got a good source on that game, and it's from SMU. Sky is falling. No pass rush, concerned about the defense, just bad juju going on right now. And to lose that game against Baylor at home, and they were trailing right before halftime against Missouri State.
I know.
And it's what happened last year. Dykes, I think the line is telling that TCU's laying up to 7 in that game, as that was over 100.
That's a big line, right?
Yeah, they ran it. Well, they ran it up on them last year. They scored a 60 burger. I think they had 3 defensive or special teams touchdowns in that game. SMU put it on TCU. So and also SMU getting off to slow starts as well.
Right.
So you go TCU game in first half.
This TCU offense is, I think, the real deal. Up next, we'll break bread inside Mitch and Paulie's Pizzeria. Long shot bets that would pay out handsomely. The U of Bet, the tip jar is open on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.